Thank you for tuning in to Terry Swoop Videos. On today's video, I'm going to talk about the rise and fall of the beautiful 1980s actress and singer, Denise Matthews, aka Vanity. Now, Vanity was a very popular singer and actress during the 80s. She played in several hit movies, and she also had a successful singing career. She was mostly popular between 1982 and 1989. What I always liked about Vanity is she was always upfront about her problems. She was always upfront about her addictions. She was brutally honest when she did interviews talking about her struggle with addiction, her struggle with relationships. Her personality was very similar to Marilyn Monroe. As you all know, Marilyn Monroe was a very beautiful woman, but she had a lot of mental issues. And Vanity's personality in her life is very similar to Marilyn Monroe. Now, Denise Matthews was born on January 4th, 1959 in Niagara Falls, Canada. She was born from a Jewish white mother and an African American father. When I found out this, I was very shocked because I always thought she was Indian because she has an Indian type of look to her. But she's actually biracial. She's a mixed biracial woman with a white mother and a black father. She always had a bad relationship with her father. She said her father abused her, her father molested her, and she did an interview when she got older, and she said she hopes her father burns in hell. This is how bad her relationship was with her father. But she had a great relationship with her mother, and she had a great relationship with her two sisters. She has two sisters named Patricia and Renee, and they were all raised in Canada. And if you ever saw the movie Coming to America, there's a scene where Patricia appears in the movie. And I've seen this movie 1,000 times, and I had no idea this woman is Vanity's sister. But as you can see, she looks just like her. Denise started modeling in 1980, but modeling agencies told her she was too short to be a runway model because she was only 5'6". And most models are usually 5'10" or taller. So she started focusing her attention on acting and singing. And she started dating Rick James in 1981. And he took her to the music awards. And he introduces her to Prince. And Prince asks her to be in his music group called Vanity 6. And he also changed her name to Vanity. This is when she starts using the name Vanity. And then in 1982, she releases the hit single, Nasty Girl. It made the top 5 on the R&B charts and sells over 500,000 copies. They started shooting the movie Purple Rain in 1983, and Vanity was scheduled to star in the movie along with Prince. And during the time, they were dating at the time. But they started having altercations during the time of the production. And she ends up breaking up with the group, Vanity 6, and she also ends up breaking up with Prince. And this is how Apollonia actually gets the part in Purple Rain. And she ends up signing with Motown Records and releasing solo records as a solo artist. Vanity's debut single as a solo artist was called Pretty Mess. It got bad reviews, but it was a surprise hit. I think a lot of people just liked seeing her dance because she wasn't that great of a singer, but she knew how to put on a great performance because she was a great dancer and she was gorgeous. Any person would pay to see her perform on stage. And this is why she had a lot of success with her first album. And then in 1985, she gets the part in The Last Dragon. And The Last Dragon would go down in history as a cult classic. This movie was produced by Berry Gordy, and it went on to gross $25 million at the box office. And this movie is what brought her into the mainstream. This movie made her a bona fide movie star. And she went on to play in several other movies throughout the 1980s. Action Jackson with Carl Weathers, which made $20 million at the box office. She also appeared in movies like Pickup 52 and Memories of Murder.
Described as sultry nightclub singer and drug addict. Now, did you have any apprehension about that kind of role?
No, not at all. Not at all. So in fact, it was extremely easy to fit that role, to fit that part. In some ways, she was very much like me. Her characteristics, extremely like me. At certain points in my life, you know, that I've had to overcome. So it was just reliving a past thing, you know. It was exciting.
I'm not sure I know what you mean about...
her anger, everything that's balled up inside of her due to drugs. You know, I've had my toll in that, and I've been through a rehab and done the whole thing, you know, so I understand her. I understood her.
Now, I didn't know that part of your life, Vanity, but you brought it up, so if I might just ask you,
yeah.
over what period of your... Was it your professional life?
What do you mean, was it my...
Well, I mean, was it
yes,
before
yes.
you were...
Oh, yes, absolutely.
During your professional
Absolutely.
life?
My whole life, professional life. No, it was actually during the last, prior to this year, the last 3 years.
Did someone intervene for you, or you just came to the realization?
No. I don't know if you're aware that it's a disease, and like alcoholism, drug addiction is a disease, something that you're born with in your genes. My parents and still are practicing. My father is dead, but my mother is. It's a sickness, it's an illness, and it's reality. Kids deal with it every day.
In 1993, Denise retired from the entertainment business. She gave up music, she gave up movies, and she became a born-again Christian. And she became a pastor. She started her own ministry. She started her own church in the Los Angeles area. And she got married in 1996 to the Raiders football player Anthony Smith. But unfortunately, the marriage didn't work out. Anthony Smith was very abusive. And this man actually went on to be a serial killer, and he ended up murdering 3 women. So this woman hasn't had the best of luck. Her marriage to Anthony Smith only lasted for about 2 years. And Anthony Smith is currently serving life in prison for triple murder. During the early 2000s, Vanity started having problems with her kidneys, and she got a kidney transplant. And as she got older, her skin got darker and darker and darker, to the point where she almost looked unrecognizable by 2010. But she was still a beautiful woman well into her 50s. But unfortunately, her kidney problems started getting worse and worse and worse, which damaged her internal organs. On February 15, 2016, Denise Matthews passed away. She was 57 years old. And I just think her life story is so amazing. She went from the highest of the highs to the lowest of the lows, and she cleaned herself up and fixed her life towards the end of her life. And she became a great pastor. She started her own ministry. She probably has one of the most remarkable stories in the history of Hollywood. And she will always be missed. She will always be looked at as a legend in my book. A lot of people have different opinions about this topic. Leave a comment, rate, and subscribe.
I went through sufferings. When I first came to the Lord, I had 250 high blood pressure over 190. I lost both of my kidneys. I stand before you with no kidneys, but believe I feel like I have 4 kidneys, 8 kidneys in my body. When I see the kidneys in my body. And I'm not even asking anybody, I'm not begging for anybody's kidney. I don't want anybody's kidney. I want Jesus to do a miraculous move on my body, and I will wait till he does it.